Hello, fellow DIYers. This is my latest and greatest pond filtration system that I have set up for my 1,000-gallon pond. Here are the koi and the deck that I built over it. My latest idea was actually a bakki filter within the aquascape waterfall that I had. I realized once I put it together that there was a lot of unused space that was inside, and I've been always wanting to try a shower filter. And so what I ended up doing was leaving some of the holes. So this large 3-inch pipe here is the inlet for the water that comes from the pump back into the pond, and part of it comes down the waterfall, and the other portion of it goes down into these two little pipes down here, where the bakki filter, where I use those pot scrubbies that everyone, the other DIYers use. So it's a bunch of pot scrubbies inside here where it falls down internally, and it's so far so good. It's it seems like a great hidden filter system that kind of it's a kind of a water feature filter system. So let's see how it works out so far. The other filters that I have for this is my bottom drain from the bottom of the pond plumbs into this swirl filter settlement tank. It's a 55-gallon drum that we dug into the ground. I'm likely going to get rid of this just because it's kind of an eyesore, and it wasn't, I was learning pretty early on how to build this thing, and I put this this drum filter a little too low into the ground, so it's probably gonna get replaced and filled in with sediment once I remove my mechanical filtration into a secondary drum filter that's post the pump. So right now it's being the swirl filter is coming in through here underground to where the pump is right now. I'm using an iron mite pump from that I got super cheap. It was only like $100 from Amazon, and it actually does really good. It only takes about 130 watts and goes in from the 2-inch pipe into the two 58-gallon drum filters. I picked these specific ones just because they seem to, the blue ones that everyone else uses, it seemed to stick out a little bit more, so I picked these old olive barrels, plus they also have the screw-on cap. So they're 58 gallons too, so they're slightly bigger than the normal ones. The first one is your standard your scrubbies that you get from your dollar stores. So if I pull this off, you can kind of see it's basically just full of tons of scrubbies in there. And so what it does is it comes in through this pipe from the top, goes all the way to the bottom, and then percolates all the way back up into the, let me go on a wide angle here. So it goes from the top to the bottom, swirls at the bottom, and then goes all the way back top where it's collected, and then goes down to into the second barrel, goes back on the bottom, and then this is actually a moving bed that I just put together using the Dana air pump. I actually tried using a smaller pump and it didn't work out too well, but there's about 4 cubic feet of K2 material, which I think is like an off-brand or copy, but it's basically slightly smaller than a K1 media, and here's kind of what it looks like. You can see that right there. So there's 4 cubic feet in there. Then comes out the 3-inch pipe back in return, gravity fed right back into the filter, the waterfall feature, and then it also gets plumbed into the return jets, which are right here where I can control them through 1-inch pipes, corrugated pipe back into the pond. So that kind of that adds a swirling mechanism into the pond, where it comes out on that far corner behind the automatic feeder, and then one comes out down here too. So it gives this clockwise swirl for the pond. That really seemed to help how waste was kind of getting caught in, and the fish really started moving a lot better once I had that out in the open. So that's pretty much it how it goes. Right now I'm looking to go get a third barrel to add to the 2 barrels over there, so I can get rid of this swirl filter down here. It'll make backwashing and cleaning a lot simpler to do, and it also kind of get rid of this eyesore. I kind of just wish I didn't spend all this time digging out that hole, which is a lot of work. It probably took at least a few days just to kind of dig that all the way to the ground, and now it's just going to be filled in with dirt after it's all done. So that's pretty much the pond right now. I've got, it's still a work in progress. I've got some other things to do. I want to add a couple more jets. I eventually want to make add either a second pump or a slightly stronger primary pump. Now that pump over there, although it was fairly good and lasted quite a long time, I think I've had that thing for almost 4 years now, and it's been working like a champ. Once I used to have trash can filters here that weren't that high before I had the waterfall feature, and because the waterfall feature is so high, the gravity feed has to be the filters have to be high for the gravity filter to work, right? So I had to remove the trash can filters, and you can kind of see pieces of the trash can that I was using, with the holes that I eventually got rid of. Right, so this is kind of the inlet and the outlet for the old trash can filter. But once I added these barrel filters in, the height of the barrel filter made the pump not function as efficiently, because it was, there's too much head pressure for the pump. So when I used to be getting a decent amount of water flow, I probably get at 2/3 to half of the flow. So I found this new W-Lim pump on Facebook Marketplace for fairly cheap, and so it's used, but it seems to work so far. So eventually I want to replace that. It's just that this thing probably uses about, if that one used 130 watts continuously, and then this one probably, if I remember correctly, uses about 210. So getting close to double the electricity usage. So but it is what it is. It'll probably put a lot more pressure, a lot more flow back into the pond. So anyways, leave some comments for me if you got any questions, or got some ideas on how I should improve the system. Have a good one. See ya.